Hello Internet, I'm Li3's back here for part 3 of my RPG Maker MZ tutorials. I'm going to be covering a few combat mechanic things that I've figured out along the way of making my project. And again, the previous parts here I've done eventing, I've done battle HUDs and menus, and the fourth one will be how I figured out how to animate enemies in the front view. Alright, so the first one is be careful of the troops window, as oftentimes the battle event commands in higher placed troops affects the ones below them for no reason. So to give a demonstration of what that looks like, so here is the troop window commands in the database tab. So the top one I have here is Irritable Woman. I have two event pages for it. That's one is set to run on the first turn automatically, and then you have an HP conditional thing there. And so here it has some text and a couple of commands. And here I have, of course, other ones in the list, and I have backups to do various testing with. So in this one, you can see I have don't run selected. So I'm going to run the battle, and you'll see that when the battle starts, look at that. There's text appearing. How did that happen? So if I turn this off here, and then again I click back onto this other place to test it, the events don't happen because it's turned off. But I don't understand what causes this to carry over like that. So that's the first thing to watch out for. Next, also the abort battle command is very janky, so repeat it, including using a common event with the wait commands in between. A common event being to abort the battle, as in just like this. Have a common event, abort battle, and then I have for my various fights set up. So like this, where you have wait frame, abort battle, wait frame, abort battle, wait frame, common event, abort battle. Because sometimes the abort function just didn't work in my battles, and after the fight ended the end condition, it just continued going, and it was very strange, yeah. But here, fortunately, it seems to be working normally as intended, but just something to be aware of. Okay, next. You can change the music that plays for a specific troop battle. So that's a handy thing to know. It's not change battle background music. It's instead need to play background music, because that changes it for in systems tab 1. That's where you set the battle music, and so you normally can only have one battle music play for the whole game, so that's what this function is for. Set the event to play different battle music, and at the beginning of the troop, there we go, it plays different music. Okay, next thing, delayed turn attacks. So this was a bit of a tricky process, but it is doable, just a bit time consuming. So for the example here, we have the Irritable Woman grabbing a book and then throwing a book. So the way to set this up is to have two skills that are going to be used by the enemy. And you have grab a book, throw a book. So here I have the enemy set to use these two different skills, but the states in which you want to use these skills. So the first is to initiate the second turn, or multi-turn attack, because you can delay it for as many turns as you want, of course, to simulate, the common Pokemon fly or dig second turn attack moves. So the condition is always, rating is however much you want. And for the condition for the attack to finish, you want to have that set to a state, which I'm going to show you how to set up, so that it can not be utilized by this enemy unless in that state, which will be a self-inflicted one. The start of the attack goes to effects. You make it certain to hit. Here you select the effects, you go to add state, and then you'll be setting up the custom state there, and you make sure that you set that to have as much of a likelihood of happening as you want. And then over here in the state tab, this is where the things get interesting. So I have a second turn book state here, custom made by myself, where what you do is you click on the traits here, and then you use this seal skill command, which you can then select from your list of all your various skills. And so you simply figure out what skills it is you have set to your character, your enemy. So I have all custom skills here: kick, ground stomp, sweep, kick. And then back in the states, you go to look for those skills in the list here, and then you select them all, which would be sweep, kick, and kick. And so if you do that for each one of your skills that you have for sealing them, but then you also select to add a skill, I believe this is necessary, but I'm not entirely sure, and this was kind of finicky for me too, because there's the extra part that you need to be wary of, where if you have multiple skills of the same name, such as I have attack here, and guard here, that you can very easily end up missing which one of these skills that your enemy has. So the states, and you add the attack that you want them to do, like so. There it is. And then you have the removal of the timing for the state and the duration for how long it lasts. And then you go back to your skills and select skill command action, where you then set the attack parameters that you want. So I have it set for 70% chance to hit one enemy with a physical attack that does 500 damage, and so on and so on. And then that's how you get the delayed turn attack effect, which I will now demonstrate. So here I'm going to guard. The enemy called a different attack, because that still is a random chance that can happen. Okay, there's the grab the book. Guard again. Second turn, throw the book. There's the damage. Alright. So next I'm going to show how to do percentage-based HP/MP restore or depletion based on the current MP/HP, which was impossible to do until I managed to find some script somewhere that's someone posted on the RPG Maker forum, but it's even then still was not in a ready state. I had to get a friend to help edit the script slightly to bring it to the state that it is here. Alright, and so the way that you do that is you copy the text for the script, and then you click open event command, and there you have the advanced scripts, and then you paste that in there. And then that's how you create the script event command. So there looks like a lot of complicated text stuff here, but unfortunately all the complicated stuff has already been accounted for, and so I can just very clearly show you that you have this text here for the HP, and then the same text but replacing the H with an M for MP, and the parts that you need to edit for changing the effect as you desire. The variable for recovery HP equals 50 here, and now this is where the percentage happens. And so that's set to 50%, and the variable is actor ID equals 1, which means for the target you want this script to affect will be game actors, or actor, and then in this bracket will be your placement for the character that you're controlling. So actor 1 here, that's who I was using. So if you had actor 2 that you also wanted to have effect, and you'd make the, I don't know if you can do it with like commas, but you can copy paste the script again and then change this to the new target that you want, and then gain HP. It's telling it what to do, which you can miraculously, normally the command looked like this for gain HP to recover HP, but you can put a minus in front of it, and then that makes it, instead of increasing in the HP by 50% relative to their number of HP, you can decrease it. I'm not a coder, I don't know how any of this stuff works, but it apparently does work, which I will show here now. Oh, no, actually what I should do is demonstrate how it's affected by the relative HP rather than the max HP. Yeah, so I'll just go for that, and then do it again. And I'll give it a bit more of a weight. You know what? I'll demonstrate the gaining function as well while I'm at it. Then this is what the effect will look like. Minus by 50, minus by 50%, minus by 100%. Oh, I messed up something there. Okay, I figured out where there was a slight error in what was happening. It's so easy to miss. I hate this kind of stuff, but look at this. It's because there was 2 M's over here, so it wasn't drawing the right parameter or whatever. So I just need to amend that text, and let me double check that. Yeah, MP, not MMP. No, that's all of them. Okay. So now it's going to work. Gotta be careful with that copy pasting and editing and stuff. 50%, 50%, then gain back by 50 relative percent. So you can see I'm not quite at half. Alright, that's how you do percentage-based HP and MP changes based on your current value. What's the next thing? Enemy offset placement correction for oversized images. Here, I have an enemy. This is the window for the enemy. It's too big to even fit the whole screen around here. Now, actually this one, right? Yeah, here we go. So that's what a more typical enemy size is like for placement on the screen. But when animating characters, you need the extra space of their character box for them to move around on the screen in. But that causes a problem where if I disable shift enemies, I will show what that looks like. So that's where they were placed before. That's Fairy's place there. And here we'll see the... wait, that's right. Always gotta remember, you gotta save. Going into troops does not cause your game to save before loading the battle. Any changes you make, you have to... There, see? So that's where the enemy is now. So that's fine and all, but I wanted the enemy placement to be lower than what I could reach as a maximum low by placing them in the window like this. Which I believe the Fairy is also limited to that lowest position, right? The Fairy can go a little bit lower, but yeah. So that's just the last bit of advice there to find is that you can get a plugin that is as basic as plugins can get. Just you can automatically shift all placement of enemies by however much you want. And now if I were to start the battle with these enemies located here, they'll be way lower, and the Fairy will even be off screen. Yes. Oh yes, and there's one other thing I have to show before heading off, which was very scary when it happened to me. So I'm just letting you know in case this ever happens to anyone else. So with this plugin, under the enemy battler settings, it has its own command to force an enemy to show an animation. So this will play a default animation whenever your enemy attacks based off what you have selected here. But when I was trying to do custom animations with Effectseer, I was not able to get the animations to actually work, but I had them selected in some of my slots, so they were broken animations that weren't playing. And unbeknownst to myself, I had selected that animation in this tab, and then attempted to test my game, but that caused the enemies to freeze as the animation was broken and that needed to play. But I didn't realize that this is where this was happening from, so I just had no idea. Suddenly my game was freezing, and it was very worrisome. So the solution to that is to simply set that to an empty animation slot. But so that's just another thing to be aware of, so that doesn't happen to you.